Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Well,
We're together.
Yes, we're together. Weird. And we are quite obviously in a Marriott
hotel room.
in West Bloomfield, where we were visiting yesterday with some potential new friends, hopefully. More on that later. Yes. But the thing we're most excited about today, and really we are partying, celebrating in truly the capstone fashion, which is go visit a hospital. Yay! But this
is our happy place.
Yes, it is our happy place.
I always say I'm either in a hockey rink or a hospital.
Two H's.
Two H's.
But so if you have never heard of the Henry Ford Hospital in West Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, it is reputable to be designed specifically with patients, families, and clinicians in mind.
Yeah.
Novel concept.
Yeah, I took a tour there years ago when it was first opened. Amazing. So you get to see it today.
I know, I'm excited. So watch our Facebook page.
We'll take some pictures. We'll post them.
It's going to be the Friday fave. I already know this. Okay. So today's topic is all about, do we celebrate enough as leaders? Do we party with our team enough? And what's the what and the how behind that? So Susie, start us off.
Well, we have our C-Suite retreat coming up next week on Mackinac Island, which we love that gathering. We've got a great group of leaders from across the Midwest coming. So folks from all over, a nice group gathered, and the topic is extreme ownership. So this idea of owning celebrations, seems like soft stuff, right? So owning celebration, extreme ownership of celebrations. And the problem with that, we were in research for that event, we were doing some reading, etc. And there's a book called Extreme Ownership, and it's about the Navy SEALs and how they elevate extreme
lead and win.
Lead and win. I mean, it's big, and their idea there is, I'm going to read it. There are no bad employees, only bad leaders. Right. And so, ouch,
oh,
that hurts.
So far, every leader I've said that to has been like, oh,
that hurts. But I truly believe that we cannot transform our industry unless we transform our leadership.
Yep,
and that means
that's why we started our company.
That's why we started our company. That means transforming, our leadership, which then is engaging employees. It's the type of leadership that engages employees. And one of the things about that is we need to celebrate employees, right? And so there are a lot of leaders out there that don't see themselves as people who engage in celebration as part of their leadership tactics. They just don't see it. Or if they try to embody it, they tend to overcomplicate it, or maybe they make missteps such as waiting till you meet a big goal or have a big project completed before you celebrate versus celebrating along the way. So, as simple as you might think celebration is, people either decide it's too simple, it's not useful enough, let's not do it, it's not part of my job as a leader, it's not a useful tactic, or they make some missteps about how to do this well. And so it shouldn't be that complicated, but it is one of those things that we see over and over again when we're coaching individual leaders or teams or entire organizations. That
gets complicated.
This somewhat simple thing of taking ownership for, the celebration in your organization and how helpful that is, just somehow, as simple as it is, it gets confusing. Or it doesn't get done.
Doesn't get done at all. By the time you get put together a team of 12 people and debate it for 6 weeks, the moment's passed, right?
You miss the moment.
What is it?
There are certain things in life where the moment is, phone going off.
Excuse me. Well, I get that.
Jane's gonna get that. So we were waiting for the housekeeper to knock on the door. So at the last minute, I put that "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door. So, but anyway, so Jane's gonna.
I'm back.
She's back.
All right. What's more likely to happen is that you have every intention of being a party animal, every intention of celebrating your goals along the way, that every improvement your staff make, you're like, okay, how are we going to celebrate this team? You get them together, but it just doesn't happen. The whirlwind, that reactive day-to-day thing just sucks you up. And what can be misconceived as, or misperceived as fluff, or the gray area of leadership, which is definitely celebrating with your team and team celebrations, just gets put on the back burner and doesn't get done. You know, another thing that I thought the book, The Vibrant Workplace, which really, really focuses on celebration and gratitude and becoming a more grateful leader. Another thing, there was a whole chapter on what if you don't feel celebrated yourself?
For sure.
What if you don't feel appreciated? It's hard to say, okay, well, nobody's celebrating me. Why should I celebrate my team?
Yeah.
You know, like I
That's
led
a trap.
this.
You know, that's a trap.
It is. We have to be the change we want to see in others.
Yeah.
We really, really do. Something, you know, I will tell you, and, you know, you have to do an assessment of this for yourself, of your leadership. You have to ask your staff, because when Sue and I and our transformational leaders, you know, our coaches that help us with our partner organizations will walk around organizations, and we ask this question commonly. We go up to an employee and we say, you know, how's communication around here? And one of the questions we always ask is, when was the last time that your team celebrated together?
And why?
And
what were you celebrating?
What were you celebrating? And you know what? The answer is 98% of the time. They get this look on their face. The Christmas party.
Or birthdays. Or, you know, not that we shouldn't celebrate holidays and birthdays and things like that, but I mean, like, real stuff that we're working on to improve and celebrating it, you know,
so that it gets repeated and people feel as though their purpose and their mission is. But anyway, so we're asking this question in May, people, and they're talking about the Christmas party. So finally we have to say, no,
really?
That can't be the answer.
That is not the right answer.
So what do we think you should do to solve this problem?
Well,
Susie.
yeah, you know, really, I think it's about, you know, we always talk about the leadership bundle and how the leadership bundle is a collection of practices that are proactive, positive, results-oriented leadership practices. And that if we put them together in a bundle, as an individual leader, we get synergy in our leadership for that and the results of that, right? So goals get accomplished, improvements get made, you're acting on future strategies. So if you put these leadership tactics together in a bundle, you'll have synergistic compounding effects of that. But then if you do that across an entire organization where every leader is doing it in that way, then you get compounded synergy, right? Like that's how our partner organizations move higher, faster, farther, is because there's a synergistic compounding effect of this leadership bundle. So one of the important, you know, tactics in the leadership bundle is grateful leadership. And we, you know, package that together with recognition, celebration, and appreciation together into this idea. So really, you know, the first step is for leaders to commit to adding that to their leadership bundle. That it's going to be part of the purposeful work that they do. It's not extra work. It's how we do our work. And it's not soft stuff, and it gets results. So I think that's the first thing, is to decide that you're going to do it, and then declare you're going to do it and commit to doing it, and then, you know, just start, which is our mantra. And, you know, if you're a senior leader and you're a leader of leaders, maybe you're the CEO of an entire organization of leaders, or a vice president with, you know, a group of leaders reporting to you, you know, make it part of how you lead synergistically. Put it on all of your bundle, right? So everybody's doing it, so you get that synergistic effect. So I think that's the first step, is to just really decide that it is an important element to add to your leadership bundle. It's not stuff. It's part of getting great results, and commit to it. I think that is,
and learn how.
Yeah,
I mean, you and I have both led leaders who are like,
but I don't know how to do that.
I'm not creative.
Yeah, and you know, when we taught this in the greatness course, you know, this module on grateful leadership in the leadership bundle, and we just built out the Capstone EDU e-learning module for that, and we're getting ready to release that pretty soon too. But in there, we really talk about two things. You need to change how we look for opportunities to be grateful or to celebrate. So we need to change our definition of what's worthy of celebration. And then we need to know how to act on that. And so we kind of do that 1-2 punch of what's worthy, how do we make it happen, and then, you know, that you know, the execution piece.
And know most likely you under celebrate, and most likely more is worthy than you originally thought.
Yeah, like we set the definition too high of what's worthy of celebration, and we really do need to celebrate along the way. I mean, that's how organizations, it's part of the effort to achieve a goal is to celebrate along the way. So even breaking down a goal, which is, maybe a big, hairy, audacious goal that you set for the year for your department or your team or your organization, you don't want to wait 12, 14 months to celebrate whether you did that or not. You have a higher chance of hitting that goal if you break that down into, markers where you can say, yeah, we made this much progress, let's celebrate that. We made this much progress, let's celebrate that. So you create this momentum and this rhythm to keep your team going towards that goal.
Right.
It's a useful tactic. It's an amazing tactic.
Yeah.
And people think it's soft stuff, and it is useful.
Yeah. Way beyond writing thank you notes, which is also powerful as well.
Yeah.
The next thing is to schedule celebrations. I mean, I was the chief party officer for every department I've led. And so that's my favorite part of leadership by far, and so I can remember clearly one July being born and raised in Traverse City, Michigan, the cherry capital of the world. I was missing home. Let's have a cherry festival. So we set a goal. We were working really, really, really hard on our quality goal that year on MedSurg. And so I'm like, you guys, if we hit 100% of all our core measures for 3 months running, all our core measures, like at the time we had like 16 core measures we were working on. If we do that, we're going to have a big fat party one day. And they made it. And, people think, oh, well, Jane, you hired a band and a bouncy house and, all that. Heck no, I didn't spend a dime, right? We had a potluck of all cherry inspired foods. I made my world famous pulled pork with cherry barbecue sauce. We had a cherry pie bake off. So the bakers had something to do. I came in last place, if you remember my
I do remember that.
Tim,
my husband one of the judges.
Yeah, he was the chief of staff at the time.
Before we got married.
Come on up, dude. Yeah, you're gonna be the judge. And so we had so much fun. We made tiny little stickers that said, we made 100%, and the zeros and the 100 were cherries. Every patient, every physician, everyone who walked on the department.
Cherry Jello, cherry crisp for the patients.
Yes, everything. Everybody in the hospital took part in this huge celebration. Didn't cost a dime. Yeah. And everyone was like, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? What are we doing next? Right? And it was like, let's do something. Let's work toward it. So
I love the story about the patient on the patient satisfaction survey. That was a patient. Remember that?
Because, it was humorous. As I was doing my validation rounding, I was listening to what my certified nurses aides were telling the patients. And as the patients were like, what's this 100% thing? Yeah. The CNAs were, the RNs have a lot to do with the core measures, but this is what we know. We know that all of our patients who come into the ER with chest pain get aspirin. We know that if the antibiotic isn't here in a timely fashion and you had pneumonia, the RN's going, and I'm running to pharmacy. They knew of them. But about 3 months after the Cherry Festival, David, our CEO, called me up to his office and he goes, you got to see this. It's hilarious. And there was a Press Ganey survey in this little tiny spidery little old lady handwriting. And under the date of service, she said, I don't know. It was the day of the Cherry Festival. Ask Jane. Because I rounded on her and told her, hey, this is what we're celebrating today. How sweet is this that we rock the world in our quality measures? So the other thing you have to do is keep it simple, stupid, right? Like make celebrating and team celebrations the easiest choice for leaders. And Chris Allen, one of our fabulous transformational experts, had this great idea that she put in place in her little hospital in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. And now several of our hospitals have followed suit.
Copy and steal everything.
Yep, it's a great idea. A celebration cart.
Yeah.
Have a celebration cart with a latte machine on it. Thanks a latte. With a popcorn machine on it. Everybody loves hot butter.
Pop in and celebrate.
Yeah, just pop in and celebrate. And I'm going to post pictures of the amazing work that our partners have done. We've got 3 great celebration cards to show you. So right after we're done with live, I'll post those for you.
Yeah. And I did a live a while back in Fans of the Framework on Party on Purpose. So I think we can't hit that message home enough is that, you know, you have to party with purpose. And, you know, you always encourage our partners to, you know, and individual teams to have a chief party officer, because
Right.
you know, not every leader is going to be creative and, you know, champion a cherry festival.
Yeah.
That's just not going to be
Yeah.
their skill set. They can learn to embody the grateful leadership, but they don't have to be the ones to fully execute
Sure.
it, right?
Oh,
So
no. Delegate the heck out of that.
so, you know, really our call to action today, you know, I teed it up earlier and talking about the leadership bundle is, you know, really making that decision for yourself to add grateful leadership to your leadership bundle. How you go about being a great leader in a grateful way. And, you know, we have lots of ways we can help leaders, you know, make that happen if it's something that, you know, they just don't know how to do and they want to learn more. Obviously, our leadership summits for, you know, since we started our company 7 years ago, our very first public training offering of leadership included grateful leadership.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's
important.
always been part of our framework. It's always
Yeah.
been part of the leadership bundle in our framework. So, you know, for 7 years now through our summits, we've been training leaders on grateful leadership. We now have the greatness course, which certainly we teach a leadership bundle there, including the element of grateful leadership. And then also, like I mentioned, our e-learning app, we're expanding that beyond direct dialogue and rounding, which is the work relationships that work course, and we're adding grateful leadership. Actually, we're going to add this summer every single element of our recommended leadership bundle will be available to you through that Capstone EDU e-learning app. And it's a great way for leaders to learn because it's not a one and done kind of thing. It's a, you know, uses a micro learning concept, which is very effective, which is to learn, do in small bite sizes, usually over about 30 days. So, so yeah, we've got lots of ways. And then again, if you're an organization that wants to adopt the entire leadership bundle, including the grateful leadership, so that you get that synergistic effect of this is how we lead around here. And of course, in our partnerships, also that this is how we team around here with employee-driven teams. And they certainly have a responsibility for celebrating and championing celebration in the organization. But our partnerships is kind of that top level way to put this all together in an amazing, powerful package that gets amazing, even award-winning, top-ranking results for the organizations that we work with. So the way to find out about those things, if you don't know about them already, is to go to our website, capstoneleadership.net. There's all sorts of information on there on our summits, on Capstone EDU, on our greatness course, and also how to contact us to talk about a partnership.
We'll see you later.
See you
Thanks for
later.
joining us
Watch
today.
for some pictures.
Yeah.